Trump administration recently published a report about the devastating effects global warming will have on the country over the next 80 years.
The environmental impact statement in that report says by 2100, the Earth's temperature will be 7 degrees hotter, which would have a significant impact on Louisiana. Lauren Bale spoke with environmentalists and coastal residents about what's at stake. Lauren?
Natalie, residents who live along the coast say they've been battling rising sea levels for years, and they know just how vulnerable they are to climate change. Now, scientists I spoke to today say that it's too soon to know the exact course global warming will take, but they say if the Earth does become 7 degrees warmer, the coastline as we know it in Louisiana will no longer be there. Ray Griffin's family has lived in Lafitte for generations, and he has no plans of leaving now.
Not going to happen. We're here to stay. We're not going anywhere.
But he might not have a choice. Over the years, he's watched Lafitte's coastline slip away, and as a result, each storm hits a little harder than before.
It used to take a Category 3 or 4 storm that'd flood Lafitte where you couldn't pass on the roads with a car or anything. Now, all it takes sometimes is a tropical storm or a tropical depression, and we've got 6, 8, 10 foot of water in some places down here in Lafitte. So it's not getting better.
The Trump administration published a report that over the next 80 years, Earth's temperature will continue to rise, causing detrimental flooding in major cities like New York and Miami.
But, you know, when you have a hurricane...
Robert Thomas is a professor in Loyola's environmental program, and he says in this scenario, Louisiana would be one of the hardest hit places.
Louisiana is going to be one of the biggest targets, and it's because of the nature of our coastline. It's very low. It's subsiding. It's got some geologic problems with faulting and the like.
He's optimistic that new technologies will come into play to prevent the current collision course we're on.
We'll come to our senses about it, and we'll start really planning for the long term with climate change.
The White House report says the damage has already been done, arguing that freezing fuel efficiency rules for cars and light trucks will do little to turn the climate around.
Waiting for the countdown for Monday Night Football.
Griffin is not sure what the solution is, but he wants politicians to work together to fight the eroding coastline, because Griffin isn't ready to give up his home.
We deserve a shot. We're not going anywhere, and if so, we're not going without a fight.
Griffin says in his lifetime, he's seen islands off the coast of Lafitte disappear completely, and he's scared to see what will happen in the next 20 or 30 years. Reporting live in New Orleans, Lauren Bale, Eyewitness News.